Happy Monday. The week is here. It's time to get after it. It's time to get after it. What we are doing today, we are in the kitchen. We're in my kitchen. We're in the Cornerstone kitchen. We are going to be cooking up some food here. Super stoked about that. Going to get all this dialed in here, and then we got to get you guys going live over here. Very good. What is going on, everyone? Happy Monday. We're cooking. It is time for some chicken fajitas, baby. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Don't worry, this will be recorded. It will be posted to my page. It will be on YouTube, Twitch, and it will be on my Instagram as well. We are cooking today. We're doing the Crockpot, one of my favorite ones. It's super simple. You just throw everything in the Crockpot, you flip the switch, and you walk away. It's real simple, super high in protein, and it's delicious. Today we're doing the chicken fajita one. This one's great for meal prep. I like to utilize it for, we'll eat it, like obviously tonight because all that work, but then it's really good for meal prep. So we'll have a ton of it left over. And this is going to be a two-part live as well. So we're going to go live, obviously, now. We're going to prep everything. We'll get it in the crock pot. This is a 4 to 6 hour cook. So towards the end of the cook, we'll go back live. I'll get it back up and running, and we'll show you the second part of how it kind of gets finished. Because we still have to shred it after 4 hours, and then you put it back in. And then on top of that, we're going to do cilantro lime rice as the side for it. So the chicken fajita alone without the cilantro lime rice is 38 grams of protein. So it's super high in protein. It's only 4 grams of fat, so very low, and 15 grams of carbohydrates, also very low. So that's why I like to pair it with that cilantro lime rice, which is also another dish that is super easy to make. And that one we will make on part 2. But for right now, we're going to do the chicken fajita in the slow cooker. This is a 255 calorie item per serving. And this one typically makes a lot. I don't know, like 8 servings, I think. My wife and I, we eat it about 3 or 4 times each. So yeah, just depending on how big of a portion we're making for ourselves or however much she takes for meal prep for work that day. So we're going to go ahead and just start getting after it. Honestly, like I said, it's very simple. You doing very minimal chopping, and then we're adding that all to the crock pot. I am going to cook mine on high because right now it's 1:45 here on the West Coast. And so 4 hours from now would put us roughly at 6 o'clock. So we'll cook it at high for 4 hours. And then after that 4 hours, I'll come back in here. We'll boot you guys back up, get on the live. We're going to pull all the chicken out and we're going to shred it. Sometimes I just shred the chicken right in the pot. It really just depends on how messy I want to get. But right now, we're just going to go ahead and get after it. So we're just simply going to start with the chicken. It's super easy. I think normally I cut these into smaller pieces and then I put them in there, but I don't think I'm going to do that today. I think I'm just going to leave them whole and lay them in there, and then we're going to salt and pepper them, of course, and then we'll go from there. Okay? So get this out. We're going to toss these bad boys right in the crock pot. No, I do not wash my chicken. You do not need to. We're going to toss that right away. And I see like a little extra piece here on this chicken. I'm just going to pull some of this off. It's really easy to pull. So this is just like a little bit of extra skin, it looks like, that was left on here. Simple stuff. Grab it with your hands, suck it up, rip it off. Okay? So we got our chicken in there. I'm going to rinse my hands real quick before I go touching anything. But what are you guys up to today? Anything fun? What you guys got going on this Monday? I'm sure you guys are working. I'm working too. This is work. I already trained a couple people this morning. We had a couple sessions, nothing too crazy. We had one of our awesome 79-year-old clients come through. Worked on balance, core strength, stability, a little bit of upper body strength, teaching her how to get up and off the floor. God forbid she falls, how to pick herself up, right? And after that, we trained a 16-year-old, so completely other end of the age range. And we are training her in strength and endurance because she will be taking the police, what do they call it? Police Explorers program in a couple weeks. So we're getting her prepared for that. So for this recipe, you will need 1 onion. You will need 3 bell pepper. You will need 16 ounces of salsa, jarred salsa. I picked mine up from Trader Joe's. It's in one of these containers. This one here, though, it's only 12 ounces, and this recipe calls for 16. So what I do is I like to mix it a little bit. This one is medium, salsa especial. It's a little more spicier, but then we'll throw in 4 ounces of this really nice, fresh pico de gallo, as you can see here. All of this from Trader Joe's. We're a Trader Joe's family here. That gets added in last, though. And then you will need 1 lime. We're going to juice 1 lime into this recipe. And then we are going to do some salt and pepper, of course, to season. Actually, while we're here, I'm going to salt and pepper these chicken real quick. So I always use Mediterranean sea salt or pink Himalayan sea salt. I like the big coarse pieces. I think they taste great on food. So that's what I stick with. So we got those in there. We're going to get our bell pepper prepped. If you do not know how to cut a bell pepper, pay attention. I'm going to teach you right now. It's super simple, and you'll always have the best cut bell pepper. So first order of business, we're going to cut the top off. As you can see, we have already done that, and the stem perfectly fell out. Look at that. It's like I know what I'm doing. Then we're going to take this bell pepper. We're going to turn it upside down on the cutting board. And then you're simply going to cut down and away from your hand, and you will get perfectly cut bell peppers to where you will not have any of that inside core on there. Look at these. Perfect. No inside core. Of course, there's a little white. That's unavoidable, right? But perfect inside right there. Then we'll cut these up a little bit more into strips. But start cutting your bell pepper that way. You'll thank me later. It's just better quality cuts that way for the bell pepper. So we're going to get the bottom off here because I don't like to waste anything. Don't need the center. We'll go ahead and toss that. So let's go ahead and get these bad boys chopped up. We're going to go ahead and just start tossing them in with the chicken. I kind of like to do these in strips, but thick strips. Because you got to remember from the course of the cook, this one will shrink a little, right? It will shrink a little. Get that up in there. We'll get these bad boys. But if you guys are just tuning in, we are cooking some chicken fajitas in the slow cooker. Super simple, very, very easy. Give these a little rinsey poo. And remember, who remembers how to cut the bell pepper? We're going to put it side down. We're going to cut the top off. Okay? And we're going to place it upside down again. Then we're going to cut away from our body and down, rotating the bell pepper after every cut. And like I said the first time, you will get yourself perfectly cut bell pepper with no core. Look at that. We just got our core right there stuck in the center. We'll just chop the bottom off so that way we don't waste any of the vegetable except for those seeds that are pretty pointless in my mind. All right. So like I said, it's a very easy cook. This is one of the many recipes that I have in my monthly cookbooks that I release to clients, and one of the recipes that gets put into their weekly meal plan, if they like this, right? I'm never going to assign things in your meal plan that you don't enjoy, but thankfully with my program, you can pretty much eat whatever you want. As long as it meets your macros and we're eating the right things. I never say no to real anything. I just advise on moderation, because of course you're going to get that person who still wants to eat pizza and all that kind of stuff, and I never say no to that. I just say, hey, let's save it for high carb day, right? So we do carb cycling here in my coaching. That is a sequence cycling between low carb and high carb days. Not no carb, lower carb. We're still eating carbohydrates. So like a low carb day, depending on the person, could look like, let's say, 100 grams of carbohydrates for their meal. That's a low carb day. They're still going to focus on protein. They're still going to focus on fat. But they're going to be eating lower amounts of carbohydrates for 3 or 4 days, depending on their plan and how aggressive we need to lose weight. After those 3 or 4 days, then we're going to incorporate a high-carb day. Okay, so that high-carb day is like our refuel day. Most high-carb days, clients will see leg day on that menu because since we're eating all those carbohydrates, we want to utilize them in a good way. And since our legs are the biggest muscles in our body, they require the most energy. They also burn the most calories. We'll save our high-carb day for leg day. But like I said, you can pretty much eat what you want as long as it's fitting within that carb cycling plan. And that way you also don't feel cut off from everything, right? What's up? Hello. Waves, hello. What's up? Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much for hanging out. If you guys are just tuning in, we're cooking right now. We're in the kitchen. We're going to be doing our slow-cooked chicken fajitas. So just go ahead and grab your slow cooker and some vegetables. Cheerleaders about the macros. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. You know what's really funny? I'm a former cheerleader. I did cheerleading in high school and in college. I got a scholarship to Sacramento State for cheer. I did it my first year, and then after, back in 2009, long time ago, California went through a major sequence of budget cuts, and cheerleading lost its funding, and so I lost my scholarship. So once I lost my scholarship, I quit cheer, and I got a job. And my first college job was working at the Lego store. I worked at the Lego store in the mall in Sacramento. And it was a fun place, but also it was retail, so it wasn't the best place at the same time. There's nothing like having a kid coming in your store and being so excited they're in the Lego store, so excited I'm in the Lego store, that they piss themselves and you gotta go grab them up. And the sad part of that is, too, these kids get so excited, they pee their pants. That's okay. We've all been kids. We've all peed our pants. But the fact that the parents, they go, all right, Johnny, let's go look at your toys now. I'm like, why don't we take Johnny and get him a new pair of pants? Maybe take him home, give him a little bath. That was the thing that blew my mind about the Lego store, and just how some parents just think their kids are cool, man. Like, they pissed themselves. They'll be all right for another 10 hours. No, man, that's not really, like, good for them at all. All right. So now we're chopping up our onion. We're doing our slow-cooked fajita here. I don't have a fancy way to chop onion. I just do my best. I have a fancy way to chop bell pepper, but not onion. And you want to know where I learned how to chop my bell pepper like that? I was watching a cooking show with Gordon Ramsay, and he was teaching them how to do it. And I was like, that looks pretty cool. I'll try that. And I've never cut a bell pepper any other way. I only do it that because I learned it from Gordon Ramsay. Right? Congrats on the scholarship. Boo on never-ending California high-end budget cuts. I lived in and around San Diego for many years. Yeah, man, I love California. I do. I think it's a great state. We got a lot of shit going on right now, obviously, with our riots. Those are not close to me. I'm in Moore Park. I am in Southern California. I'm about an hour from LA, but thankfully, I haven't really been affected by that at all. My heart and prayers go out to all the people involved in that, and I'm not one to take sides, and I'm not going to, but I just hope everyone comes out okay, right? I don't like when people get hurt. I don't think it's necessary. I also don't think it's necessary I think there's a thing between protesting and there is a thing between rioting and looting, right? Those are two completely different things. And I just want everyone to be okay. That's all. As a fellow Southern California native, I just want everyone to be okay. I'm going to wash our hands up here a bit. I see some comments on the screen. I'll come back. Just bear with me. I am a clean freak. I wash my hands too much. I wash my hands so much that I I kind of make them bleed sometimes. Too much washing. Not always the best. Get good soap. Lego stores are awesome. It is one of the centerpiece stores at Disneyland Springs outside of Disney World. Yeah, Lego stores are very popular. There's one like downtown Disney here in California that's really popular too. They're kind of rare too. You don't find them too often, at least you used to. But yeah. All right, let's see. I think all we have to do... Oh, so we don't even add the lime juice yet. We're going to wait on this. This will be in part 2 of our cook. So when we come back, we'll do that. What we're going to do right now, though, is we're going to get this cutting board and this knife out of the way since we're done with that. That's literally all our chopping. Oh, you know what? There's one more thing. I'm going to add garlic. This recipe doesn't call for garlic, but I'm Italian and I can eat garlic in anything. So I'm going to grab some garlic real quick. Bear with me. All right, garlic. So I like a lot of garlic. My wife, on the other hand, likes garlic. So I'm going to go right in between, and we're just going to do a happy medium. I'm probably going to go with, let's see, that's 1, 2. I'm going to do 4 cloves of garlic. I'm going to do bigger cloves. So that way I can tell my wife, I only did 4 cloves, but I did the 4 biggest ones I could find. LA riots. I'm old enough to remember the 90s riots. Me too, brother. I remember that too. Gotta get in the anti-vampire protection. Straight up. Appreciate you hanging out, guys. Make sure you hit that like button or give me a follow. I'd really appreciate it. Support that stream. And if you know anyone who might benefit from this stream, please go ahead and share it with them. And if you guys are looking for a community to support you with your health and fitness goals, or a community just to hang out, hey, what's going on, man? Appreciate you hanging out. King Bob up in the house. What's going on? But if you guys are looking for a free community where we talk video games, movies, nutrition, fitness, you name it, we talk all about it, go ahead and join our free community. You can find it with the link in my bio. It's called the Cornerstone Fitness HQ. It's completely free to join. And when you get in there, you can claim your free access to our online app. And then we get you a custom plan built. And you can get all our meal plans and macro plans and mental support there for you. King Bob, you need advice. Let's talk about it. Drop it. Let's get some advice going for you. What questions do you have? I'm happy to answer them. We're cooking. We're cooking and chatting, baby. So I peel garlic like the old school way, where I just get my fingers slightly wet and then dry them to where they kind of have a stick. And then I peel the skin of the garlic right off. Whereas some people, like my wife, will use like this roller thing. She has this rubber roller that she'll roll back and forth, and the garlic peels off by itself. But I'm old school, man. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. So we're chopping up some garlic. This is going to be our final vegetable. Like I said, I technically have only cut 2 vegetables. I cut 1 onion and 3 bell peppers. 2 different vegetables. And the chicken, by the way, the recipe calls for 1.5 pounds of chicken. I think we did like 1.8, just a little bit more. But I did notice last time's recipe, when we did this recipe last time, the chicken was just a little bit light. And I remember thinking, man, I wish I had some more. So we added a little bit more. So for you guys at home, I'd probably do like 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds for that. All right, Bob, let me read your question. Bear with me. I'm chopping garlic. We'll read it for the class. All right, let's see. I'm working out, and I'm looking big, like huge chest, arms, legs, but I don't feel huge. What is wrong? So I don't get it. What's your goal? Are you trying to get huge? Are you trying to get stronger? Are you trying to get toner and lose weight? let me know a little bit more about what the actual end goal is. Are you looking to be bigger? Because if you are, then it sounds like you're already on the right path. But give me a little bit more info there, Bob. Help you out a little bit more, my man. So I like mine finely chopped. My wife does. She doesn't like chunks of garlic. I could eat garlic right now. I could literally take this and eat it. You know what? I will. Because it's freaking great. It's really good. I can do that with onion, garlic. Like I said, baby, I'm Italian. So all that stuff, right in my wheelhouse. All right, so we're going to add our garlic, our final piece of the plan. We'll get that tossed in. A little bit extra here. Don't let it go to waste. I don't like to waste. Not a big fan of it. All right, so we're done chopping. It's done. Very easy recipe. If you guys are just tuning in, we're doing chicken fajitas in the slow cooker. Okay, this recipe is about 4 to 6 hours long, so it's something you can flip on and go do other stuff in your life. I'm going to cook mine at high for 4 hours. I want to get huge and stronger. Or is it body dysmorphia? I mean, yeah, that sounds like body dysmorphia. Body dysmorphia is when we basically don't see ourselves as healthy, fit, or not even that, but we just constantly are looking at that body and judging it regardless of where it is. You may hit your goal, but it's still not going to be enough. I myself and many other people have struggled with that. But if you're looking to get huge, it already says, I want to get huge and stronger. So clearly you said, your chest and arms and your legs are already bigger, but you don't feel huge. So you can see they're bigger, but you don't feel that way. Those are two separate things, right? So what I would recommend is start taking measurements of your body. And if you're not taking measurements, it's just a way to get a better insight onto what's going on, right? So I measure my clients every 2 weeks. So that way, if something's not changing on the scale, we do their measurements and we see, hey, your chest, butt, waist, this has all gone down. Your body fat percentage has gone down, even though the scale hasn't changed. That's okay. And then when it comes to that feeling stronger mindset that you're talking about, that's where we start. That's why I record everyone's numbers when it comes to their lifts, because day 1 you may have been able to deadlift 100, but day 90 you could probably deadlift 300. Or more, maybe less, whatever it is. But when we look at those numbers and we go, okay, where was I at day 1 and where was I at today? That's where we can start going, wow, I am getting a lot stronger, right? I have some clients who don't see the change in the mirror because we see ourselves in the mirror every single day. Most of the time we notice change when other people point it out to us, right? They go, oh, Scott, you lost some weight. Oh, Scott, you're looking strong and big, whatever that may be, right? So don't always stick to your own mindset, right? Do those measurements, record your lifts, and then you can start judging your progress that way. All right, we're chatting like a couple old Italian ladies over the wash line. Let's get back to work here, kids. We're going to salt and pepper one more time. So we're going to salt and pepper all the veggies. We just added in 3 bell peppers, 1 onion chopped. Now we're seasoning it with salt and pepper. This recipe has 38 grams of protein, 4 grams of fat, and only 15 grams of carbohydrates. We will be making cilantro lime rice later. We'll go live again later, and we'll do that because this recipe alone is 4 hours. So after we do that, I think we had the salsa. Yo, cooking stream, hell yeah. What's up, Luca? How you doing, man? Another day in paradise. We woke up. That's all that matters. Yep, I'm right. I know what I'm doing. I was just double checking the recipe. It's not that often I am wrong. All right, so now we are going to add in our salsa. So I got a little bit of a more spicier salsa here. And then we got our normal pico de gallo, okay? It calls for 16 ounces. This jar is 12. So we're doing 12 ounces of spicy salsa. And then we're going to do 4 ounces of the pico. How am I going to measure 4 ounces of pico? I don't know yet. How many ounces are in a cup? Who knows that answer? Who wants to Google that one for old Scott? All right, so we're going to add in our salsa especial. Nice and spicy. You can pick this one up from Trader Joe's. All 12 ounces, okay? Dunsky. Do I have to come over to give taste tests on the stream? Yeah, you can taste test in about 4 to 6 hours, brother. Can you peck bounce? I can peck bounce. I can. Of course, this one isn't opening. Grab a knife. I really like this pico from Trader Joe's. I think it has great flavor. I like pico that actually has like chunks of tomato and onion in it. I think it's just better tasting. All right. Let's see. I just realized that we need a measuring cup. 8 fluid ounces in a cup. Look at that guy. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. I was just about to Google that. All right. For everyone who doesn't know, there's 8 fluid ounces in 1 cup. So I'm not going to fill this up all the way. In fact, I'm going to drop it right into the trash can. Oh, man. How funny is that? All right. I'm going to get a smaller cup because we don't need a full one. That's half. Okay. Looks like we don't have a 3/4 cup. Give this guy a little rinsey poo since we took it one. What's up, Arch? Hey, Ollie Bear. Oh, Archie, it's your birthday. Come here. Arch, come here. Let's say happy birthday to everyone. Come here. You're okay. Everyone, it is Archie's birthday today. He is 14 years old. Can we wish him a happy birthday? Let's get those happy birthdays in the chat. Drop those happy birthdays to this old man. You want the chicken fajita, don't you? It smells good, doesn't it? This is our firstborn, first of his name, Archibald Ginobili Billington. We adopted him today, 14 years ago. And then we got this nugget. This is Ollie Bear. He is what you call a problem child. Always great to have one of those in the family. All right, boys, go lay down. I knew it. I love that one, too. Straight up. It's very flavorful, not so spicy. Happy birthday, Archie. Thank you for the happy birthday, Luca. You're the man. All right, let's get our final salsa in. 8 fluid ounces. So I'm thinking 3/4 cup since we need 6. Okay? So we got that in there. I'm just going to give it a little extra something. Bada bing, bada boom. And this does not require any water added, so please do not add any water. All right. So the last task before we pop the lid, flip the switch, and walk away and go train is to mix it up. We got to mix it up next. They look identical. Yes, they do. Are they actually from the same litter? Not at all. But people constantly think they are from the same litter, and part of the reason why we did adopt them is because they looked alike. All right, so now we're going to take this. As you guys can see here, we have our crock pot. We have the chicken on the very bottom. We have bell pepper, 3 of them. We have 1 onion chopped up. We have 4 garlic cloves because your boy loves garlic. And we got 16 ounces of salsa, 12 of spicy, and 4 of pico de gallo. Probably 5 because I'm not good at measuring. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and give that a mix. What I like to do is kind of get some of the veggies underneath the chicken. So the chicken almost cooks on top of them. But then also having some veggie on top of that chicken. Whoops. We're getting a little kickback spray here. We're mixing aggressively, kids. All right. So we're all up in there. That salsa's nice and mixed. So it doesn't look like there's a lot of juice in here. It really doesn't. But as we're cooking, a lot of these vegetables are going to sweat a lot. They're going to release a ton of juice. And so is that chicken, actually. So we're going to pop this on now. We'll do some dishes right after, because, you know, you got to. So our lid's on. We're going to flip it to high. And we're pretty much done. That's how easy this meal is. I love this meal. Super good. 38 grams of protein, 4 grams of fat, 15 grams of carbohydrates, just in here alone. Okay, so we're going to let this cook for 4 hours on high. I am going to do some dishes. I'm going to go train. And then in 4 hours, I'm going to come back. I'll pop you guys back up on live, and we'll finish the second part of it. So what happens after this? So we cook it for 4 hours on high. After the 4 hours, we take the lid off, we lower it to low, and then we shred the chicken. I typically shred the chicken right inside here because it gets super messy, but you can also shred the chicken like on a cutting board and pop it back in. I did that the first time, and it got so messy, I was like, hard pass. So I do it this way. We've done it. We've cooked this one a couple times now. And then when we come back, so we'll go ahead and get that all shredded and mixed up. And then we're going to make our cilantro lime rice. So the cilantro lime rice is one of my favorites. It doesn't take much. It is rice, or rice cooker, lime, and cilantro. And then I believe we put olive oil in there and salt and pepper. So the cilantro lime rice is a very easy one. I like it. It's delicious, full of flavor, and I feel like it's the only way I can eat rice now. I did notice, so the recipe for the cilantro lime rice requires a lime, right? So we squeeze one lime in there, and then we zest a lime. So the zest you get from the skin, right? I learned the hard way of putting a little too much zest in my cilantro lime rice, that it kind of overtook it, and it was very limey. I didn't mind, but the beautiful woman that I'm married to and live with, she minded a little bit. She said it was just too much zest, so I try to use a little bit less. Using gym terms to cook is wild. The veggies are going to sweat a lot. That's all I do, baby. My whole vocabulary is gym. All right, so we'll get the cilantro lime rice going in a little while. And that one, the hardest part of it is waiting for it to cook. All you do is finely chop up cilantro, you juice a lime, and you zest some of it into there once it's done cooking. And you just seriously just mix it all together. And then you plate it right after that. So the cilantro lime rice is a very easy one to make. Of course, that one's going to have its own separate carbohydrate or the macro breakdown. So I'll go ahead and get that, guys, for you on our second live. We'll do that in about 4 hours. So we're sitting at about 2:15 right now, but I think that was about 2:15. Yeah, so it'll be done around 6:15. I'll get you guys back up and live, and that's Pacific time, PST. So if you guys want to tune back in, you can see the second half, you can see the final product, and we'll get a bite in together. But yeah, if you guys are looking for anything else, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here for y'all, and it was a fun one. Love cooking in the kitchen, and we're already done. It really is so easy. It's such a simple one. So when people tell me it's just too much to cook, I think it took me longer to set up my whole entire live stream than it was to actually prep and throw all this in the Crockpot. So it's not hard eating healthy if you just try. If you already cut yourself off and you say, I can't do this, it's just so much work, turn it from I can't to I can. And turn it from it's so much work to I get to nourish my body with healthier food. Those words shifting change your whole outlook on life. You don't need to dwell on hard stuff. Make hard stuff easier. That's why, like, we're in the gym. We do hard shit in the gym to make life easier later, right? Same thing with cooking. If you're not going to put your time in to cook or prep your food, it's going to be a lot harder for you to get to your goals, right? So if you're not eating the proper macros, it's going to take you forever to lose weight. It's going to take you forever to gain muscle. And like going back to King Bob's question, if you're still here, Bob, you know, you were saying you're not feeling bigger, but you're looking bigger. So yeah, it's definitely like a body dysmorphia, but also, man, if you don't have your food dialed in and you're trying to get stronger, you're not going to go anywhere. You're going to plateau. And I'm not saying about being perfect. I'm just saying try to be about 80% good, right? So what's 80%? We could do 5 days of the week, like real good, and then maybe just going a little looser on those other 2 days. But whatever it may be, don't overthink it. Just take it one meal at a time, one recipe at a time. chop it all up, throw it in the crock pot. Super simple. But if you guys are just tuning in, I saw a couple people just join in. I appreciate it. We're ending our live right now. But don't worry, we're going to come back in 4 hours. So around 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, we'll get the stream back up and running, and we'll show you the finished product. So we have the chicken fajita in the slow cooker right now. 38 grams of protein, 4 grams of fat, 15 grams of carbohydrates. After the 4 hours, we'll come back. We'll shred this bad boy all up. We'll let it sit for another 30 minutes to marinate in that shred. And then we'll make the cilantro lime rice in the rice cooker. I'll bring that all over here. Normally I cook it over there, but we'll bring it over here for you guys. But I appreciate you guys hanging out. I hope you have a spectacular rest of your day. And I will make sure to put in the macros and directions into this descriptions for you guys. But if you also want to have the recipe like right now, you can go to my Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, any of those, and this recipe is on there. If you go to YouTube, it's under the playlist Cornerstone Kitchen. On my Instagram, it's like 3 or 4 scrolls down right in the center of the page. You can simply save it for next time and cook it up. But it's so easy. We chopped 4 or 5 vegetables, popped them in here, and now the hardest part is just waiting. That's the hardest part of this whole recipe, is waiting. But I'll catch you guys on the flippy flop in about 4 hours, but I hope you have a good rest of your day. I'm going to